Welcome and thank you for choosing Money Mastery, a 3-part system to building a successful business. Whether you are new to this industry or a seasoned veteran, you will find that each lesson provides a step-by-step, systematic process where continuous practice will ensure greater confidence, greater professionalism, and most importantly, greater financial success. The first of your 3 lessons begins with the needs assessment. Enjoy and have fun. The needs assessment. The needs assessment is an effective way to take a client from I don't know what I want to exactly what I need in a matter of 2 minutes or less. How many of you would like to make more money?
Woo-hoo!
And how many of you want to make a lot more money?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So listen carefully. How many of you are willing to do what it takes to make more money? Are you willing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Sure.
Very good. So share with me what you think it is going to take for you to make more money in this industry.
Consistency.
Commitment.
Passion.
Follow through.
Teamwork.
Enthusiasm.
More clients.
Fun.
Fun. Absolutely, you guys. Very good. If I could show you a way to get all of your clients to say yes to your recommendations and double your sales with fewer people in less time, would that be of value to you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In 1998, STI began teaching a system called the needs assessment. What we found was that as technicians, we experience some good days and some not so good days. How many of you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
With the help of Doug Carter, the leading sales trainer in the country, STI created the needs assessment. Now, I'm a hairdresser by trade myself, and I can say that the needs assessment transformed my personal business. Through following this simple system, I was able to grow my service average ticket from $32 per client to $112 per client, tripling my business in 1 year just by following this one system I'm about to teach you. How many of you would like to have results such as these?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
What we found is that by using a system, instead of relying on our feelings, we were able to produce predictable results with every client every time. As technicians, there are systems for cutting, coloring, cleansing the skin, applying nails, and performing massage, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
The challenge that technicians face today is consistently utilizing a system to produce those predictable results with their business. 15% of your financial success is based on your technical ability. 85% of your financial success is based on how well you communicate and the experience that the client has with you. Think about it. Is it more common to get technical education or business education in our industry?
Technical.
Yeah.
Perfect. Every time you go to a show, the first thing you see is technical education everywhere. Business education is typically down the hall, around the corner, in the back of every show, and that's where they hold that. So technical education is what we spend the majority of our time. So let me ask you this. What happens if you spend 90% of your time focusing on 15% of your financial success?
Never really going to make the type of money I want.
Perfect. You're not going to make the type of money you want.
I'm going to be focused in one area, not the whole picture.
I'm going to be working a whole lot harder.
I won't have the money that I want.
Absolutely. So today we are going to focus our time and attention on the 85% of your success. We are going to learn a system that will support you in consistently communicating with your clients, as well as providing an experience that exceeds their expectations. Customers buy 2 things. When you go to buy a car, you buy 2 things. When you go to buy a new outfit, you buy 2 things. What would you say those 2 things that customers buy?
Good product.
Good product?
Good feelings.
And good feelings, exactly. Customers buy 2 things, good feelings and solutions. And that's what the needs assessment is about. It's about helping our clients to feel good about the service they're about to receive, as well as provide those solutions that they need to the challenges that they're currently having. I will be guiding you through a personal exercise to allow you to experience the power of each question in the needs assessment. I want each of you to answer the questions as if you were truly receiving a service from me today. I'm going to ask the question. You simply write down your personal response on a blank sheet of paper. Take your time and answer them truthfully. Doing so will ensure that you truly experience the power of the needs assessment. Now, I'm a hairdresser by trade, so imagine that I am doing your hair today. So when you answer the questions, first, let's try answering as if you were getting your hair done today by me. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Perfect. When was the last time you loved your hair? And take a moment and write that down. What do you like most about your hair? What challenges are you currently having with your hair? And lastly, if you could change anything about your hair, what would it be? What do you see as the importance of these questions?
Really helps me to identify with what I want. Helps me to get clear about what I appreciate, what I'm looking for, how do I feel about it.
Excellent.
It gets to the heart of it right away. Rather than going through a whole bunch of conversation, you get straight to what is it that they want, what they don't like.
Excellent. Perfect. Imagine a funnel. So the funnel begins at the opening or the mouth of the funnel with those 4 questions. And by asking that, you're actually driving down the center of the funnel and out the other end. Now you know your solutions or what you could provide as a service. Does that make sense,
Sure.
everybody?
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. These initial 4 questions of the needs assessment are intended to get the client involved in discovering for him or herself what matters most. There is a saying, it is more important to be interested versus interesting. With that in mind, what would you say the purpose of the following question is? If you could change anything about your hair, what would that be? What is the purpose of that question?
The purpose is really to answer the client's need.
Very good. To find out exactly what their need is, because you want to expand on, you want to have them thinking about, ooh, if I could change anything about my hair, what would that be? It expands the breadth of the possibilities of your service because you're having them think bigger than what's currently happening with their hair right now. Very good. Excellent. Let's continue on, and please write down your answers to the following questions regarding product. What products are you currently using? And take a moment to write that down. And are you happy with the results? These questions are designed to begin the conversation about retail. Often, we as technicians will feel like we're being pushy or that we sound like a used car salesperson. How many of you can relate to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Exactly. The reason that you may feel this way is because you may not have been consistently informing your customer from the start that you will be educating them on retail throughout the service. By informing your client during the needs assessment, prior to beginning their service, that you will be educating them on retail throughout their appointment today gives your customer the opportunity to listen and anticipate your recommendations. They are able to experience your professional recommendations as education and not selling. So again, when you begin in the needs assessment by introducing the conversation of retail, you are now in a place where the customer is ready to receive recommendations because you've already allowed them to express their needs. They're looking for your answers now, and when you inform them that it's your job to educate them, then they're ready to receive that information. Once you have asked these questions, you are ready to check in with your client. It is imperative that you repeat back to the client what he or she said to validate that you were indeed listening to them. This will build trust and rapport. Remember, communication is both verbal and nonverbal. One way to build trust and rapport is to repeat back 3 to 4 relevant things that he or she knows or believes to be true. And the 4th thing that you say, may I make my recommendations, will be accepted to them without question. Following the needs assessment, we just went through the initial 4 questions. We introduced the conversation about retail. And now that we come to that bridge is called, may I make my recommendations? So at this point, you're bridging the conversation from what they said they liked, what they said they didn't like, if they could change anything, you found out about their retail. Now you're bridging the conversations and you're saying, may I make my recommendation? Once you receive confirmation from your client, you begin from the top and respond by saying, what I heard you say that you liked about your hair was, and you fill the blank in. What I heard you say that you don't like, and what I heard you say that you would like to change. Allow me to give you an example. Alicia, what I heard you say was that you loved your hair 6 months ago because it had more shine and body, correct?
Yes.
What I heard you say that you don't like is the color is grown out and that the ends are very dry and brittle.
Yes.
Yes.
What I also heard you say is that you would like to change the brassiness and add more shine and more body, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Would you like my recommendations?
Yes.
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 Once you have completed and you've bridged the conversation, you've repeated back right from the top, and then you complete that with, would you like my recommendations? The service recommendations begin in a 1, 2, 3 pattern. What I recommend for your service today is, and you begin by solving the challenges that they said that they didn't like about their hair, or you're going to keep doing what they really loved about their hair. And depending upon what they said they would like to change, you may make that recommendation to make the necessary change. This is your golden moment. You must speak powerfully, with confidence, and most importantly, be honest with what you are recommending for the client. This system is not to sell. The needs assessment is about service. When you serve first, you sell automatically. When you sell first, you can be sure that you are not serving. The only way you will gain confidence is by using the system repeatedly and experiencing the successes. Remember to recommend services and products that directly address what the client's challenges are and goals with their hair, skin, nails, or body. Always recommend 2 to 3 services. Give the client choices to serve their needs. The next step in the needs assessment is to recommend retail. Watch your verbiage. Notice what I say and follow the script verbatim. Throughout the service today, I will be recommending products to ensure that you will be able to duplicate this look at home. When we are finished, you can choose what you need. What is the purpose of the retail statement? Someone share with me.
To let them know that you're going to be talking about it ongoingly through the service so that it's not abrupt at the end.
Very good. Excellent.
To also really be in control of the flow of the service experience for the customer and to allow yourself the comfort to make those recommendations.
Very good. Anybody else?
Really having them understand that you are going to be educating them throughout the service and kind of set them up to expect that. And what I loved that you said at the end was that they could choose. So I don't have to feel like that salesperson. They already know it's their choice, but I'm going to recommend.
Very good. Notice that we are recommending retail even before we start the service.
Sure.
This is an important point. Consumers need to hear and see something many times before they take action. Think about yourself before you buy something. How many ads did you see? How many radio sound bites did you hear? How many newspapers did you read to actually see that ad before you actually took action? So think about that for your customer. They've got to hear it and they've got to see it many times. It is not enough to just casually recommend retail and hope that they take actions. Clients don't take hints. You are the professional, and it's up to you to make a professional recommendation. Within 24 hours of your service, over 90% of your clients will make a retail purchase. Why not have them purchase from you so that you could benefit from it and so that you know what they're using? Often the reason that they don't buy from you is not that they could buy it cheaper. That's what we think. It is simply because you are not doing your job, which is educating and recommending. Educate your client. Recommend 3 to 5 products, and then put that product out the counter and close the sale. You need to be passionate about ensuring that your clients have the products they need to duplicate the service that you provided. Think about it. If I took away your entire product, and I took it off your stations, and I took it out of your rooms, and I told you that you could not use this product on your customers, would you be able to perform the services and get the same result that you get when you use product?
No.
Absolutely not. You're the professional, and it is your job to educate your customers on what they need to duplicate the look at home. The last question you ask is intended to have the client agreeing to take action. Are you ready to get started, or would you like to get started? Those 2 questions, either one, it's your option to use either are you ready to get started or would you like to get started. Those are the final step, if you will, of the needs assessment. It's just a time for you to get their confirmation that, yes, let's go, let's do it, they're ready. So by asking that, you're getting their final agreement that whatever you've recommended, You've already told them you're going to educate them throughout the service about retail. They're agreeing to that, and they're ready to get started. When you discuss products in the form of education from this point on, they are going to be able to listen to you and receive it as education, not as sales, because you talked about it before you completed the needs assessment. There is a saying, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, but involve me and I'll know. We've just taken the time to walk through your personal needs assessment. You've answered the questions personally for yourself. Now I'm going to take a few minutes to role play with several of you so that you can hear how it works live. It's one thing to take it in for yourself personally in a step-by-step manner like we just did, but it's another thing to hear it kind of roll through the whole process live. So we're going to do a couple of those examples. The more you experience the needs assessment, the more effective you'll become. No matter how many times you hear it, each time you can learn something. I've been doing the needs assessment for over 12 years now. Every time I do it, it helps me to gain clarity, to gain understanding, and just to perfect my skill. Think about it. Every time you cut a bob, every time you cleanse the skin, every time you apply a nail, every time you massage the body, you get better at perfecting your skill, do you not?
Yes.
So that's what we're going to begin today. We're practicing a new skill set. It's going to take some time. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable. It's like going to the gym and working out for the very first time. The next day, you're sore. The very next day, you can hardly get out of bed, okay? So we're going to take that on today, and we're going to practice that. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to have a couple volunteers, and we're going to role play several different ones. I'll do one for hair. I'll do one for skin, for nails, and I'm actually going to allow you guys to practice with one another, because when you actually take it on yourselves and then I'm able to give you some coaching, you're going to learn quicker, faster. And that's really what we want to do, because I think, if I remember correctly, you all said you wanted to make more money, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to take some time and do that. Before we begin actually practicing the needs assessment together, why don't you just go ahead and put down your pens and your pencils and just clear your space so that you can listen, which is an important part of the needs assessment, to listen carefully to the responses of your customer and really to be able to hear them so that when you repeat back what you heard them say, you're actually using their words, you're even using their tone and their tempo. The more you do that, the more rapport you're building with that customer, the more effective, the more confident they're actually going to feel in you providing the service. So it doesn't matter if you are a brand new hairdresser on the floor, or you're a veteran massage therapist or a nail tech that's been in the industry for a year. When you follow this system, you're going to gain clarity, you're going to gain confidence, and most importantly, you're going to have an effective system for delivering consistent, predictable results. So let's take some time and practice together, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Alejandra, may I use you as my first volunteer? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the needs assessment, again in an example of hair because I'm a hairdresser. And then I'll let Louis, I know you do nails, I'll let you do one. And Steve, my massage therapist, I'll let you take it from there. And we'll practice together and I'll give you some coaching throughout. Would that work?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, perfect. So Alejandra, you're going to be my client.
Okay.
Okay, and you are going to answer truthfully for what is happening right now for you with your hair, okay? The more honest you are, the more real it's going to come across. When we try to stump the teacher, it's not as effective, okay? So I'm going to ask you just to kind of tune out everybody around us and just be with me and to answer these questions, okay?
Yep.
So hi, Alejandra, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. My name is Julie, and I'm going to be taking care of you today. And before we begin, I'd like to ask you some questions so that I can give you the best possible service. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Alejandra, can you tell me, when was the last time you really loved your hair?
It was about a year ago.
About a year ago. And what do you like about it right now?
I love that it's bouncy and it's long. I've been growing it out for a while. And the shine that it has.
Very good. So you like the bounce and that it's longer and that you've got some great shine.
Yes.
Excellent. And what challenges are you currently having with your hair?
My bangs are way too long.
Okay, got it. I can see that.
I feel like I've got a lot of split ends.
Okay.
Now that it is getting longer, I'm seeing them more. And the color, not so happy with it.
All right, perfect. So in our time today, if you could change anything about your hair, what would that be?
I think the main thing really is the split ends and the bangs that's bothering me the most.
All right, perfect. And then what products are you currently using, Alejandra?
I use foam before I blow dry.
Very good.
And I also use an oil kind of sheen after I'm done styling.
Excellent. And then shampoo and conditioner, are
Yes.
you using professional products? Are you using
All professional products.
all professional? Very good. And are you happy with the results you're getting from those?
Yeah, I am.
All right, perfect. So what I heard you say, Alejandra, is that you loved your hair about a year ago. And what you like about your hair right now is that it's longer, it's bouncy, it's got shine to your hair. And the challenges that you're currently having is that your bangs are long.
Yes.
Okay. And that you're starting to, because the hair is growing out, you're actually starting to get more split ends and you're noticing that. And you kind of said that your color is just kind of like blah, like there. You're not really quite as happy as you'd like to be with that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then what I also heard you say is that you're using some professional products and that you're pretty happy with the results you're getting from those.
That's right.
Excellent. May I make some recommendations?
Yes.
Number one, your hair is stunning. I think it looks beautiful on you. It's the perfect length for your height and body shape and proportion. So I really enjoy that on you. And what I'd like to do, because you've got beautiful eyes, I agree your bangs are too long. I want to open that eye area up, give it some pop. So I'd like to go in there, shape your hair today. It's important when you're growing it out. I need to see you at least every 5 weeks, Alejandra, even if I'm just dusting the ends, so that I can take care of those splits so that they don't keep growing up the hair shaft as you wait longer and longer. We'll be sure just to dust it so you can continue to keep the length, but I really wouldn't go too much longer. This is a very nice length on you, and you get a lot of versatility with this hair right now, I would think.
Yes, I do.
Very good. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to clean the shape up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more of a square layer shape, which is going to give you that bounce and help to keep that nice fullness that you're getting. I'm going to go in, I'm going to texturize those bangs. I'm going to pop that eye by lifting that bang a little bit through there. I love the depth of your hair, but I want to get some movement to it. I want to get a little pop. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do a weave of a couple different shades. I want to put a nice, rich auburn to that. I think it's going to make that blue in your eye just really explode, which I think will be beautiful on there. And then when the sun shines, you'll actually be able to see the highlight that you get from that. And that's important because you really like shine.
Yes.
So I want to go in and give some different color in there. I'm going to go ahead and do a low light with a deeper, richer brown to your hair and add that auburn in it. I think it's going to give great movement, look stunning on you. Great thing to do for the fall season that we see upon us right now. Okay?
Sounds good.
Perfect. When I'm done, I'm going to send you to Lucy, and Lucy's our makeup artist. She's extraordinary. You're going to love her. She's got some phenomenal colors for the fall season. It's going to really enhance what we're doing today. I'm going to ask her to do an eye on you, and I want her to give you a nice look for your eye to have that pop and complement what we just did. Get some lip color and really do something really extraordinary for you today. Okay?
Wow.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Also, what I'd like to do today is throughout this service, Alejandra, I'm going to educate you on the products that I would use so that I can teach you how to keep this look at home. And when we're done, you can choose what you need. Okay?
Okay.
Would you like to get started?
Yes.
Very good. Excellent job, Alejandra. Thank you. So, Alejandra, as a customer, as my client, how did you feel about that experience?
Really taken care of. Like you were very interested in me and what I want.
Very good. What did everybody else hear? What were some things that I said or that I did even that you watched in my body language?
Complete eye contact. You faced her the whole time. You were very engaging.
Excellent, Kim. You bring up an important point. When you're doing the needs assessment, you want to be sure that you are sitting down face-to-face with customer, looking them eye to eye. So if you're a hairdresser and you say to me, Julie, I don't have enough room in my salon to sit down with my client, fine. What I'd like you to do is pump the chair up and then you lean against your station, turn the chair around so that they're facing you, at least you're eye to eye and you're just kind of sitting a little bit and leaning on that station. If you're a nail tech, pull your chair out, Louis, from behind the table and sit with your client face to face. The table can become a barrier, so I want you to be sure to come out from behind the table. Including you, Steve, as a massage therapist and my estheticians, you want to be sure that you take the time to sit down with them in a quiet room, face to face, before you actually go in and ask them to derobe and lay down and get ready, okay? So I want you to be sure, like you were just saying, Kim, an important point is that you look at them eye to eye and give them that eye contact that they deserve. Remember, how long did that take me, you guys?
Couple minutes.
Yeah,
A couple minutes, okay? So you're really only taking 2 to 3 minutes to give them the time and attention that they deserve. Remember, your client writes your paycheck. That's an important thing, that the better you serve them, the more opportunity you have and they have. It's a win-win situation. What else did you hear that I did with Alejandra?
You repeated back verbatim what she had responded, which we had a lot. I talk a lot, so sometimes I add my own lip. But I think there was a validation.
Very good, Lewis. Good. So by using her word like shine and bouncy, that's a validation, like you said to her, that I'm actually listening and I actually heard what she said. Very good, Lewis. Thank you. Steve.
The more the conversation went on, the more excited you became. And when it came time for you to make your recommendations, you were really not only confident, but just really excited. Like you were having fun and you got to talk about what you love to do, which is make people look and feel great. So it was really fun to watch that. Like you got so excited.
Absolutely. This is the best thing we get to do in life, is have fun. If you're not having fun, it's not worth it. So you get that opportunity to be creative. Were you going to say something, Alejandra?
Yeah, no, I really want you to do my hair now. I was like, okay, let's go.
Very good. Yes, Steve.
Another thing that I saw was it really didn't take you long. A lot of times I get so busy and I think that I don't have the time to do this with my clients, and then I assume that I already know what they want, so I'm just going to do that, and I get in my busyness and I make up that if I have to stop and have these conversations, it's going to take too much time and I'm going to get behind. But what I noticed was you handled everything, and you even talked about retail, and you did it in a very short period of time, a couple minutes, and that's powerful.
Very good, Steve. You know what? Oftentimes when I'm teaching and I've worked with salons and technicians, what I hear them say is that they're really busy. Would you guys agree? You get really busy.
Totally busy.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
And there's a saying for that. Sometimes your busyness can get in the way of your business.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So think about that for a second. When you have that conversation, that story, if you will, that I'm too busy, that's what I call professional suicide. Because when you start with that story, I'm too busy, then what happens is you actually take a lackadaisical approach to serving your customers. And we're in the service industry. They're coming to us for our professional recommendation. It is our job to educate. It's their job to choose. It's our job to serve them with everything that they need, not what we want them to have or not what we think they should have, but rather what they say that they need. Remember, customers buy two things. What were they?
Solutions.
And feeling.
And feelings. So my job was to make Alejandra feel great. Do you feel great?
Absolutely.
She wants me to do her hair right
Yes.
now. And to solve her challenges. So what were the challenges that Alejandra said she had? Kim,
Split
what were
ends.
they? Split ends. Very good. What else?
Bang.
And bang. What else?
And she wants to keep her shine.
She wants to keep the shine.
Yeah, so the color overall was not where she wanted it to be.
Very good. So my job is to make her feel good. And I used a lot of power words. Did you guys hear that? Make your
Yes.
eyes pop, that you're beautiful, you have a great length in your hair. And all of those types of power words are actually going to make that client feel good. And by repeating, I'm building trust and rapport with her. So I'm automatically making her feel good. Now I solve her challenges. I highlight what she loves about her hair. And be sure to keep doing those things. She loves her length. I'm not going to cut that off today. Okay? So I highlight that I love your length. It looks perfect for you. Now, if I didn't think it was the right length, I might make some recommendations for changing the shape a little bit if I think that that was appropriate. But I highlighted that and I solved the challenges for her bangs, for her shine. I gave her color some pop. What were the other things that I recommended today? Lewis?
The eye, the makeup.
Yes.
I would have never thought about makeup.
Very good. So I'm actually helping my other team, and I'm also helping my customer, because what woman doesn't want their makeup to look phenomenal along with their hair? So I'm recommending that Alejandra get the new look for the fall season or the spring season, whatever time of year it is for you. And I'm helping my fellow teammate. The more services that your customer receives from your salon and your spa, the more likely they're going to stay with you, the more loyal they become, and the more you retain. It is much more cost effective, you guys, to market to your current customers than to go out and try to find a new one. I don't know about you, but I hated being told I needed to go to the mall and start handing out my business cards. Right?
Yeah.
So the better you get with the ones you get in your chair, the less you're going to have to do those types of things. Okay? So by doing that, I retain my client and I gain loyalty, which would have Alejandra coming to me more often. Very good.
I have one more thing is the thing that I noticed is that you actually have more control of the conversation because you had an open-ended question and she answered and you repeated back. And that actually validated and at the same time gave me the confidence to really recommend or upsell.
Very good, Louis. Imagine this, you guys. Imagine a roller coaster at Disney or at Cedar Point, if you will, and that roller coaster goes up and down and makes turns and twists. The needs assessment was designed by Doug and by Susie Carter to really take the customer on an emotional roller coaster, and it was designed to ask the right questions at the right time to elicit the types of answers and services that we need to be able to provide. Many of you ask all these questions. I'm simply asking you to take them in a systematic format so that you can get predictable results every time. Like I said in the beginning, we have good days and not so good days, right? Exactly.
Yes.
So we need to follow a system that will have us be effective. Think about it. Alejandra, I know you're a hairdresser as well. If I woke you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and asked you to cut a bob, could you cut a bob?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know the system for cutting a bob. Now, it might be a little fuzzy, but you could actually do it.
Yeah.
So that's the point of the needs assessment, Louis. Excellent. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, Steve.
This all sounds great, Julie, but I have two concerns I have to ask you about. One would be the price. I didn't hear you mention to her how much it was. So when would you do that? And then secondly, if I'm booked solid and I'm a massage therapist, I'm booked solid, and you're coming in for a 30-minute massage, I know you need another 30 minutes because we really found out that you got to work some kinks out in your shoulders and your neck, but I've got somebody else coming in. What do I do?
Very
so those
good.
are my two questions for you.
Very good. And the first, let's address the money conversation. The dreaded money conversation. I know from my personal experience that I was always nervous about price, and I find that many technicians either A, charge a different price depending upon if you're my friend and I've seen you for many years, or if you're a new client and I need to make more money this week. So it depends upon what our moods are that often dictate the prices that we have. And unfortunately, it keeps it ambiguous to our customers, and that could also be a reason why our customers may leave us. So the first thing that I want to say is that when you follow the needs assessment, everyone, in this particular format, and you're not venturing off and doing a version of your own, but you're following this, if you noticed, Alejandra was nodding yes throughout. She was saying, yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. Yes, I'm buying that. And when I said to her, may I make my recommendations? And she said yes. And I made my recommendations and I asked her, would you like to get started? And she said yes. She has just bought whatever I recommended. If she has a concern about price, okay, Alejandra may say, yes, Julie, absolutely. Could you tell me how much that's going to be today? The customer may ask at that point. Now, you also know when you're looking at your customer, you can sometimes see in their body language or their facial expression, or you may even know a little bit of their history of their finances because they share with you everything. You may know that they might want to know, but they might be a little intimidated to ask. So what I recommend that you say at that particular point in time is, I would say, Alejandra, are you ready to get started?
Yes,
Very good, Alejandra. Would you like me to break those services down for you?
that would be great.
So, Alejandra, the cut that we're going to do is our traditional is $25. Now I'm going to do the double highlight on you. I'm using 2 colors today. That's $75. Then I'm going to send you to the makeup artist, and Lucy's going to take care of you today, and she's going to do a complimentary makeup application. So whatever you choose for makeup to purchase, that would be whatever you chose.
Okay.
Perfect. Notice I didn't say, do you want me to tell you how much it is? Or I didn't say it's going to be $100. I simply asked her, would you like me to break that down for you? Why would I say that? Somebody share with me. Why would I say that?
In how you're asking it. Would you like me to break it down? Sounds to me like you're moving the conversation forward still, not like putting it over in my place, like, would you like to find out how much it is? That usually makes me think about money.
Mm-hmm.
That first one, like, how much would you like to know how much this is? That's about money. But the would you like me to break it down keeps me thinking about, okay, all the things I'm going to get again.
Yes.
And that you're keeping the conversation going. Am I on the right page?
Yeah, very good. Close. Go ahead, Alejandra.
I would think that it would break down the cost so that I could then choose. Perhaps I don't want to do the highlight or the 2 highlights. Could I just do 1 or vice versa? But it gives me the choice.
Excellent, Alejandra. That's exactly it. Throughout this whole process, we've been doing what? giving our customer choices. So again, I'm giving Alejandra those choices in her particular appointment. As well as, if you remember, I said to her, I need to see her every 5 weeks. So I'm already planting the seed for the choice of rebooking, when we come to the end. That's another part of the needs assessment to include that in there. So that addresses the money, Steve. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. And the second part was our time.
Yeah.
And many of us may not have the time. What I want you to do is always in the needs assessment, recommend up to 2 to 3 services. Now, when it comes to the part of whether or not you can do it today, you're going to simply follow this procedure. Alejandra, we're going to pick it back up. Okay?
Okay.
Alejandra, would you like to get started today?
Yes.
Excellent. Alejandra, what we were scheduled today for was just the haircut. So here's what I can do. I'm going to go ahead, if you would like. I'm going to start your highlight. I'm going to let you process. I'm going to have Kim help me out throughout your service today. She'll shampoo you out. You may have to sit a little longer. I've got some clients in between, and then I'll be able to do your haircut. So all said and done, it's going to take us about 2.5 hours today. We can either A, do that, or I can go ahead and do your cut today, reschedule you for the highlight, and you can absolutely see Lucy because she's got time. What would you prefer?
I want to do it today.
You want to do it today?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's get started, and then just know that Kim's going to be helping me out today, and we'll take really good care of you.
Okay, great.
Very good.
Wow.
So do you see that I'm not going to lose the opportunity, but I'm going to be honest with her and let her know how long it's going to take me. So it's important that you guys, in the needs assessment, you don't get stopped by time and you don't get stopped by money. Remember, you're finding and filling a need. So ask what the needs are, fill the needs. Yes, Steve.
What I really liked about this, you just gave me a great breakthrough. You are totally in control of your schedule. You are the expert. So many times I feel like I have to accommodate their time, their schedule all the time. Mm-hmm. But what I just saw you do there was manage my schedule and yours together at the same time. And like you had Alejandra make you broke it all the way down to a clear choice, yes or no?
Absolutely. Very good. Alejandra.
I see how that would work as far as a hairstylist, but I do also do waxing on the side, and I'm wondering how that would work for like a nail tech or massage therapist or the waxing aspect as well. How would you make that work?
Very good. So again, for example, massage therapist, if you're booked back to back to back, okay, you have to run your schedule on appointments because clients expect if I had a noon appointment for a massage, I expect to be in at noon. So doing that needs assessment, you may change the type of service you do in that time allotted today to serve their need, for example, Steve, as a massage, and then recommend that the next time they come back that you book for a 75-minute or a 90-minute, or even that you see them within the next week for a chair massage just to pick it up because we didn't get there. Now, that also gives you the opportunity to go into at-home care. So you might recommend the heating pad or the neck heating pad that you sell right in the spa that they can take home and do a treatment at home tonight. Put some oil, to have them purchase some oil to take with it to bring back that relaxation, that scent and that smell. Because as you know, massage is not just the technique right now, but the actual experience that they have when they're in the massage room. So if you could teach them how to duplicate that at home, then you can extend your service and offer retail. And especially as waxing, those types of things, Alejandra, you need to really be working with your team. Somebody might be able to do that wax for you. So it might be a service that you may not necessarily provide because you don't have the time, but you may get help from Lewis or from Kim to go ahead and do that service for you. Remember, you must think about team and utilize all the assets that you have in your salon and your spa. Last question, Lewis.
I have one quick question is that I'm a nail technician and I see my clients every 2 weeks.
Yes.
So for me to repeat this same questions every single time, I'm going to feel, number one, robotic, number two, not real, and the three is that they've already purchased everything. So how do I get them to see something different, or how do I build that muscle for myself?
Very good question, Lewis. Excellent. I appreciate that you asked that. Number one, let's deal with the robotic, okay? This is a brand new script for many of you, so you will feel robotic in the beginning. The more you practice, the more effective you're going to become, the less robotic you're going to feel. And secondly, when you see your clients all the time, it's going to be a much more familiar, a much more relaxed rhythm of it. So let's pretend right now, Lewis, that you're my client and I see you every 2 weeks, okay?
Okay.
And we'll just kind of do a quick little role play through the first few questions so you can kind of get that rhythm.
That'd be
Hi,
great.
Lewis. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you. How was last week?
Excellent.
Very good. Now, Louis, you know it's important for me to ask the questions so that I can ensure that I give you the best service every time you come to see me. So a couple weeks ago, we did your manicure. How's it been for you?
Really good, actually. They're nice and shiny.
Nice and shiny. Good. Is there any challenges that you're currently having with your nails?
You know, the cuticle, it keeps like pulling apart.
All right, perfect. So the cuticles are still bugging us. And if you could change anything about your nails today, what would that be?
They're splitting.
They're splitting. Okay, perfect. So you see that it was a much more relaxed conversation, but I still took him through the questions. It only takes a moment to do it. So again, no matter who sits in your chair, every single time they sit down in your chair or come into your room, you ask them questions, correct?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Absolutely. Well, Louis, you're going to ask them questions. You're not just going to have somebody sit down and say nothing to them, are you?
No, I talk to them.
You talk to
I talk to
them.
them about everything else.
Perfect. So the one thing that you want to be sure to do, Louis, is remember this. Your customers are coming to you as a professional. And no matter how much we think that they're our friends, at the end of the day, they are paying you for a service. And it is your responsibility to honor and to respect the fact that they came to pay you for a professional service. They deserve your time, they deserve your attention, and they deserve to be asked questions to find their need. And if you choose, and it's completely your choice, to talk about whatever you want, then I'm just going to encourage you to try something else. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. And I believe, Louis, you were one of the first ones to say you wanted to make more money.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So I'm going to challenge you to take this on because it's not about you. It's about your customer. And if we come to our place of business and we come with ego and we think it's about us because we're the creator, we're the talent, we're the professional, whatever that is, then you stand in a place of ego and you're not serving. A study was done by Harvard Business of over 100,000 people in the service industry to find out why they left. Do you know that 68% of your customers will leave you because of employee indifference? Wow. What do you suppose that means? Employee indifference. Kim?
You didn't care enough.
You didn't care enough. Very good. What else?
Too busy.
Too busy. Excellent. What else?
I didn't educate.
I didn't educate.
Kind of just blasé. I going with the flow. I kind of know what you want. I think, I'm just same old mentality.
Very good. So indifference is the opposite of being different. So I'm challenging you. The needs assessment has you be different because I bet if I asked everybody in this room the last time that you went and received a service, nobody actually sat down and asked you these types of questions, did they?
No.
They might have asked you a version, but they didn't actually take you through the rhythm of it. So you didn't experience somebody actually listening to you. So being different is doing that, which would set you apart. And now you become somebody special rather than somebody who is just like every other person that they've gone to in the past. So indifference is that time that Alejandra may come to me today and I'm really great and I do the needs assessment and I really take good care of her. And the next time I do it pretty good. I might have forgot a couple things, but it's still pretty good to her. And the next time she comes in, it's a little bit less, and a little less, and a little less. And by the time she comes in the sixth time, I say, Alejandra, I'll meet you back at the shampoo bowl. And now all of a sudden it becomes that friendly, because we think now they're our friends, relationship, and I no longer am honoring the fact that she is my customer and that she's paying me as a professional for my recommendations and for my services. So, Louis, I'm going to encourage you to take that on, that it's okay to have fun with them, but I request that you start your conversations always with the needs assessment. Then have fun, ask them whatever you want.
What a great way to check back in with them.
Yeah.
I see that what you said of being interesting or interested instead of interesting.
Yes, very good. Excellent, you guys. Good. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to actually take some time to role play with one another.
Great.
Great.
So I want to just go back and recap and take you through the process of the needs assessment so that we can highlight those important areas to remember. Number one, remember the needs assessment is a systematic way to take the client from I don't know what I want to exactly what I want in 2 to 3 minutes. It's important for us to remember some key factors. You always want to sit face to face and have great eye contact with that customer. Be conscious of your body language. Building trust and rapport is not only in our words, words, but also in our body language. So mirroring and matching their body is also going to give you that trust and rapport as you're building the needs assessment. Number 2, the important thing to remember with the needs assessment is go ahead and use the script. It is okay for you to take the time and practice and use that script until it becomes second nature for you. Always remember in the beginning to introduce yourself if it's a first-time client, or greet them in any way that you would if it's a long-time friend or customer that you have seen. Thirdly, it's important to remember that the needs assessment is divided up into segments so that you can take that customer on that emotional roller coaster of inquiring about their needs, finding out what they're using at home, and then all of a sudden you're making the recommendations, you're the hero riding in. The first section, if you will, is all about what did they love, what did they like, what don't they like, could they change anything? That's allowing you to build those services in your mind of what you're going to recommend. Remember, it's always 2 to 3 services. Then by finding out what products are they currently using at home, this opens the door for them to, number 1, be able to release that conversation that they might have about you always selling to them, or your conversation that you don't want to sound like a salesperson. You're simply asking them what they're using and if they're happy with those results they're getting. Now, finally, in the needs assessment is about bridging that conversation to your recommendations. You begin by repeating back everything you heard them say. When you repeat 3 things that a customer knows or perceives to be true, the 4th thing you say, which is, may I make my recommendations, they will accept without question. You're actually, by repeating back to the customer 3 things that you heard them say, what they loved, what they liked, what they didn't like, what they'd like to change, when you repeat those things and they're giving you that verbal confirmation, by time you say, may I make my recommendations, they have accepted those recommendations without question. That is an important way to build trust and rapport. Be sure to use the words and the tone and the inflection that they had. That's going to help to build trust. And as you do that, when you're finished with that and making those recommendations, you're going to literally move into the close of the needs assessment. And that is, be sure to say to them, may I make my recommendations? You make your recommendations. After that is done, you're going to remind them throughout the service today, I'm going to be educating you on the products that I would use on your hair, skin, or nails, whichever that might be. And when we're finished, you can choose what you need. Again, that's giving the customer the power. It's taking it away from you so that you do not feel like a salesperson and they know that they're going to be educated. It puts you in the professional driver's seat. And lastly, would you like to get started? So remember, the needs assessment is really a process. It should only take you 2 to 3 minutes. It takes that customer from, I don't know what I want, to yes, I want exactly that. Remember the saying, everyone, practice makes perfect. And I always say, anything worth doing does not have to be done perfectly at first. So take the time, practice the needs assessment, use your script, fail forward. There's going to be times that you don't do it right, and there's going to be times that you get it right. And the more practice you have, the better you're going to get, the easier it is, the more your customers will feel served and not sold. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to you. You can win, they can win, and all together we can have the best business and make more money, have more time, more confidence, and more customers.